on ET Now. It's time for our Spend with TMS segment. If you'll remember, just about last month, the Prime Minister launched what we call as the eRupi. Now, this eRupi would essentially work as a voucher, a prepaid voucher which customers can use. A very simple product as well, because you're going to get the voucher via an SMS. You have to present it at the merchant's point of sale, and then the merchant will provide you with a good or service that this voucher is eligible to purchase. So guess what? Now this eRupi is live with Mswipe merchants as well. To speak more on this, we spoke with Ankur Bhatnagar, the head of product with Mswipe. Listen into what he had to say.
Yeah, Mobina, so eRupi is a prepaid voucher, Erstwhile you used to have prepaid cards like gift cards. So it's a very similar instrument launched by National Payments Corporation of India on the Unified Payment Interface rails. So likes of your Visa and MasterCard, who used to earlier issue gift cards, we now have a card which is formless and can be used over the UPI network for payments.
Okay, so basically if I have this, this eRupi voucher, and I go to a merchant to purchase my product or service, what do I need exactly? Will there be a PIN? Will there be a card number that I'll have to memorize?
So, Mubina, very interesting. Practically, you don't need anything to memorize, and because there is no form factor associated, you just need to carry this voucher on your mobile. Now, there are two modes where this can be used. If you have a smartphone, you can generate a QR and consume it over an app. Or in case you are having a old generation phone, this can also be used via SMS string, which is read by the merchant and then the transaction completed by merchant. There is a OTP based authentication, a security factor, second factor authentication enabled on eRupi vouchers, which is just to be provided to the merchant to complete this transaction.
Okay, so what are the products and services, if you could explain with an example where this eRupi can essentially be used?
So, Mubina, while the government today has released this for COVID-19 vaccinations, where corporates today are reimbursing to their employees all the expenses towards the vaccinations, now they can issue this over a simple prepaid instrument called eRupi and can be used over the counter at various vaccination centers for getting vaccinated. There are wide usages that are yet to come. Two special characteristics of this instrument. One, this is person specific. When I say person specific, this can be issued to specific mobile numbers and can be used only by the person to whom this is issued. Second is this can also be purpose specific. Now, purpose specific means that when you are using a debit card or a credit card, you don't have control over which merchant this can be used. Now, these vouchers can be issued for a specific category of merchants. Now, say a meal voucher can be issued on this form, can be used only across meal counters. This can also be used to issue, say, only for school fee payments, where it can only work on education merchants. There can be other use cases where this can be used for over-the-counter purchases for medicines, only enabled for making payments towards your gas purchase. And that's where government is also looking at using this for the direct benefit transfers that they do, so that this can be specifically used for the purpose the funds are to be transferred. The government interest today is that they are able to transfer funds to beneficiaries who may not be using their Jan Dhan bank accounts. But if you see at large, there are various interesting use cases which can be enabled where this is specifically can be related to security. One important factor to consider in digital payments is trust. And you must have seen that a lot of frauds happen when you use your instrument. And that's where people are concerned about using their digital instrument over an open network. But here what happens is when you create these cards, you limit the value of the instrument, and only the value of the instrument gets exposed on the network, and your lifetime savings or the underlying credit line gets protected. So those are the interesting use cases where I see that eRupi is going to find value. Right now, they have been only allowed for a limit of say 10K for each transaction. But then, even interesting use cases on how the small value credits are provided to the merchants can be put on this card, where the issuers of credit can pass on the funds to this card and to be used only for specific purposes. So those are some of the use cases, Mobina, that I see we will soon see coming on this eRupi instrument.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you encompass some of the other products and services as well. Right now, I think the key point is to get essentially the vaccination pace back on track, and sort of give that a boost. This eRupi will go a long way in doing that. Share with us Ankit, about what are the kind of merchants that have today the ability through that Mswipe merchant app to accept the eRupi. If you could share some examples of that, which are the Kirana stores, which are the other shops where I would be able to use my eRupi thanks to Mswipe empowering those merchants to be able to accept that.
Movina, today, we have close to 6.75 lakh terminalized merchants who use our POS services. And we have over 1 million merchants who have been enabled on UPI-based QR solution. Now, what we have done is we have gone ahead and enabled our complete network to be able to use this eRupi vouchers. While on the issuance side, the issuance will start only with merchants for specific category as medical practitioners or hospitals. Practically, the network is already ready to accept e-vouchers as payment instrument. So all our groceries, pharmacies, hospitals, medical centers, and your education merchants have already been enabled, and infrastructure today completely lies ready for various use cases on the Mswipe merchant network. On the issuance side as well, what we have done is we have participated with the NPCI and we are working to issue the prepaid vouchers for the specific use case today, which is your COVID vaccination, to all our enterprise merchants, where they can issue this in a B2C category. When I say B2C, it is business to consumer, where they are issuing now these vouchers to their employees, and these can be redeemed on any of the hospital merchants today servicing COVID vaccination on Mswipe network.
Okay, so basically you're also on the other side of the transaction, and that is ensuring dissemination of these vouchers to the beneficiaries. So how would that work? Since you've told me that, Ankit, how were the beneficiaries able to procure these digital vouchers then in the first place to be able to then further on use it at different merchants?
Extremely simple. There is no form factor, so there is no logistics involved. There is the simplified web app which has been provided to our merchants, both working on mobiles and on their device, their desktop devices, where they can log in and place a request by providing the funds which requires to be credited to these e-vouchers. When you need to issue the e-voucher, you need to simply provide the mobile number of the beneficiary along with his details like name, and the system automatically creates a prepaid voucher and sends this via SMS, via WhatsApp, or via any other communication app that the sender prefers to the beneficiary. Now, beneficiary receives this as a notification, and he can go to his communication app and would find a message which has a link to click, which provides him access to his voucher.
And out of time then on this episode of The Money Show. Hope you've enjoyed watching it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to ET Now.